bringing you the latest news from Monterey Athletics. This is the Plainsman Fan Zone podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Good Tuesday evening. Welcome into the High School Fan Zone. I'm Randy Rosetta. You have tuned in to either 100.7 The Score or Fox News Now to check in with what's going on with high school sports in Lubbock. Specifically tonight, we are jumping into the Plainsman Fan Zone, followed by the Mustang Fan Zone. And this week I'll try to keep them straight in my head. I'm not as medicated and out of it as I was last week. I hope I played that off well last week. I was playing hurt, and I don't think I spread any germs to anybody, so that was a small victory for me. Before we jump in and start talking about a couple of different sports with Monterey, I want to do this because I didn't do it. I almost ran out of time last time. I'm going to run through the football schedule this week and the radio schedule. Thursday night, the game out at Lowry Field is Coronado against Abilene High, District 2 5A Division I. That'll be on 96.9 The Bull. Friday, Friendship opens District 2 6A play at Midland High. That's on Double T 97.3 FM. Monterey and Lubbock High play for the Silver Spurs, 7 p.m. Friday at Lowry Field. That's also District 2 5A Division I. And I think that's down the radio dial. If it is on Monterey's station, it will be 93.7 The Eagle. Let's see, where am I going here? Lubbock Cooper is right here on 100.7 The Score against Abilene Cooper in District 2 5A Division II. That's 7 p.m. at Shotwell Stadium. Liberty hits the road, goes to Perryton in District 5 4A Division II. That will be on 93.1 Young Country. I think that's the designation. Let's see. Oh, Jason Sims is he's like quick. For a guy who's north of 50, you're quietly quick, man.
Thank you.
People used to say that about me. Then I got a few more years down the road. Trinity Christian opens taps District 2 Division 2 District 1 play at Fort Worth Christian. Lubbock Christian opens Division 3 District 1 play at Lake Country out in Fort Worth. That game has been canceled. Kingdom Prep's game has gotten canceled. Amarillo Holy Cross's team does not have enough players. A couple of outlying teams. Plainview plays at Wichita Falls Legacy in District 2 5A Division 2, and the other game in District 5-4, I almost forgot the Matadors. Estacado plays at Leveland in District 5-4A Division 2. That's down the radio dial with Nick Long on the call. We're double-barreled here. We've got Monterey cross-country coach Crista Jones, and what's the official title other than that?
Girls Campus Coordinator and Head Track.
And the first one you mentioned there, maybe the one that keeps you busiest.
It's pretty busy.
I know it's National Coaches. It was National Coaches Day. I call it National Coaches Week. I think maybe what you guys do as coordinators probably wears you out a little bit more. Sometimes you just get to go coach. That's the fun part. So
it is the fun part.
And Jason Sims, campus coordinator for boys and head football coach. We had Crista come in and join Jason for a couple reasons. First of all, the district, is it 3-5A in cross-country?
Yes, 3-5A.
3-5A cross-country meet is this week. Here, I've got it right in front of me. 6A, 5A, 4A are all at May Simmons. Thursday, let's see. The 3-5A girls take off at 11 a.m. This is varsity. Boys at 11:30. 5-4A, which is Estacado Liberty Memorial. Girls at 2 p.m., boys at 2:30. Friendship girls and boys are Wednesday out at May Simmons. Girls at 3 o'clock. Boys at 3:30. That's the first reason I wanted to have Crista on. I also wanted to get her to brag a little bit about specifically her boys team. Not that her girls don't deserve some attention, but your boys won the LISD Invitational 2 weekends ago.
Yes.
And I forgot to ask you this. When's the last time you guys did that?
It's been a while since we've won the Lubbock Invitational. We have come in second and third. We're pretty familiar with winning district. They've won district last year, and so they're hungry for that. But they've been wanting to win Lubbock Invitational. That's a big one. Because
that's basically your district with a few teams built in.
Yes, it's basically the whole district and then some regional teams.
Which we talked, Amy Withrow was on a few weeks ago. We were just talking, May Simmons is a very popular place at this time of year. You get all those regional teams, they want to kind of get used to it. And you took your kids out there today to get used to it.
Yes, we go out there twice a week, every Tuesday and Thursday.
Jason, are you a runner?
Not anymore, but I used to be a big-time runner when I got out of the Army and throughout the Army, but there's no way I could go run with them now.
No, I asked Andrew Roy that, and he kind of looked at me like I had a third eye in the middle of my head. He was like, no. Have you been out to May Simmons?
I went and watched them at the Lubbock Invitational, and it's a great venue. You know, Coach Meeks had said it's the only cross-country course you can watch the whole race.
Yes.
And, you know, and then our kids are great, and it was really fun to go out there and watch Coach Jones do her thing, and all of our kids compete, and the boys win it, and it was a great event.
Now, Mike Meeks loves him some football, but his baby are the cross-country meets in the fall and the track meets in the spring. He loves those things as much as anything he does, and I think that's got to be kind of cool for you, Crista, to have an executive athletic director that really is that in tune with what you coach.
It is. Mike's been my mentor for a long time. I worked with him when I first started in 2005, and he was the head track coach at Coronado, and so his passion and love and support for cross-country and track is like amazing.
And he's a Lubbock guy through and through, so he's been here when it kind of has grown and developed. Let's talk about your boys for a little bit. I'm going to read the names off real quick. In the top 10 at the LISD meet, Jimmy Gonzalez was 5th place. Luis Guerrero was 10th place. And then you guys were all fairly bunched up. What about this group has made them so competitive and able to do what they did a few weeks ago?
They're just a really competitive group. They're competitive with each other, and so that keeps them really strong because they want to win every rep in practice. And so I think that makes them really competitive. We've got just a really good mix we've got, a freshman that's really strong, was second on varsity at Lubbock Invitational, 3 juniors, 2 seniors. So there's a good dynamic. And they just, they don't really know how to go anything but 100%. They don't hold back. And
just looking at the results, now Paladero's in your district in cross country, right?
Mm-hmm.
I always get a little confused of how it's delineated. But Lubbock High was the next city team. They were down the road a little bit in 8th week. So they had the individual champion.
Individual, yes.
And he's been a guy Arturo's been coming on for a few years. But the fact that you guys have a little bit of depth, I know that's always a thing that cross country coaches talk about. It's great to have really strong runners, but it's usually that 5th, 6th, 7th runners who kind of dictate where you might wind up.
And that's what really helps is they run tight as a group. And so they're all within 60 to 90 seconds of each other. And that's what we work on in practice is all finishing right there close. And that's really the key. And so, you can have 1 or 2 strong ones, but if you have 5, 6, all 7 of them running close together, then that's what gets you there.
And see, that's how I survived the PT runs in the Army when I was in. I was never going to be leading the pack, but I was okay if I could run with people. So we're coming up on a break. We'll be back after this break on 100.7 The Score in the Plainsman Fan Zone to talk cross country and football.
Diving headfirst into Monterey athletics. You're listening to the Plainsman Fan Zone on 100.7 The Score and the 100.7 The Score mobile app.
Welcome back into the Plainsman Fan Zone on 100.7 The Score. I want to go back and fix something. I gave Luis Guerrero credit for finishing 9th. He's actually a Lubbock Cooper runner who finished 10th. Cason Castillo, is that the freshman?
Yes.
He finished 9th for Monterey, which when Amy was on a few weeks ago, we talked about this. There's a lot of young, really good young runners. There was a good crop that just graduated. Mm-hmm. You had Sydney,
yes,
Reese, and I'm going to butcher her name, Zanisha.
Yeah, Zanisha.
Yeah, I'm just going to call her Z from now on. It's just easier for me. You had that crop that graduated, but they seem to have passed the torch, and the boys as well. I think that's a good sign for Lubbock that's going to continue to build and grow.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, we have a new freshman too on the girls' side, Hannah Hughes, who finished in the top 10.
Yep.
So.
And you mentioned, we were talking a little bit before, I mentioned the times. Thursday at May Simmons, 11 a.m. for the girls, 11:30 for the boys. Let's talk about your girls a little bit. They didn't win, but they competed at the district meet, at the LISD meet. Who are some girls over there that are setting the tone for you?
Like I said, Hannah Hughes is a freshman, and she's really strong. She's ranking in the top for district and even to get out of the region. So she's doing really well. We do have a young team. We've got couple of freshmen, couple of sophomore. We do have 2 seniors. Both of them have been injured most part of this season, but they're going to be able to make it back for district. So I think that'll help make a little bit of a difference.
So if you've got a freshman, Michael Sparks has Amelia Anderson. That's just the beginning.
Yes, just the beginning.
That's going to be a 4-year battle back and forth.
Yeah, It'll be fun.
Mm-hmm. We're going to talk a little bit of football now because I think it's cool the way your schedule sets up, Jason. Last week, you beat Coronado 42-7. My guy that covered the game said you guys looked very good from start to finish. Now, he's not a coach. You may have seen some things that a little differently. And you get to turn around. You don't have to refire your guys up because now they get to play Lubbock High. What have you learned about the history of the Silver Spurs through the years?
Whenever I got the job, I was coaching the ASCO game, and during the week I was around Coach Morton, and I asked him for advice, and his only piece of advice was don't lose the Spurs. So that's my knowledge of the history. I just know I'm not allowed to lose them. So
if James is listening to that, James is a good friend of mine. I've actually known him since before Barron was born. That's how long. James is the only coach in the modern era. I don't know if I'd say that because in the 80s they may have, but he's the only coach in the last 30, 35 years that lost the Spurs 2 years in a row. Crista, you may have been in high school one of those years. Mm-hmm. And I didn't know this until this was ironic. The coach for Lubbock High was a guy named Joe Loudermilk. His wife taught at Monterey. And when I stopped by and saw Joe and his wife 2 summers ago, and she said, those 2 Mondays were the happiest days she ever had at Monterey High School because she could walk in with her head held. She could wear her black and gold that day. So
she was my English teacher.
And from what I understand, a very good teacher back then. It's just one of the – we talked last week about the rivals. This one goes back a little bit further because Lubbock High was the only public high school, only integrated public high school for years. And then Monterey came in and all of a sudden, what's little brother doing here? Hasn't been all that competitive, but it's always fun. There's always the signs, and I know you're going to be occupied, but Crista can vouch for this. There's going to be some pretty cool signs in the stands, and just have to keep them somewhat clean. So all that aside, though, you guys, what did you do the other night that you liked once you sat back and looked at it on video?
I thought we played really well. We tweaked our offense, and we went back and went back to a 4-man front defensively, and I thought our defense played stellar. We held them to less than 100 yards total offense, and that was really the difference in the game. We went to a 2-back set, put a little more speed on the field, and did some really cool things, and I thought we were very explosive. And so I walked out of that game very pleased with the direction that we're heading.
I will openly confess, when I was editing Georgia's story that next day, I did a double take when I looked at the stats. I thought, wait, these can't be right. Because you guys have done well defensively, but not that well. And Coronado's got guys that can eat up chunks of field in a hurry, and you kept that from happening.
The last time I thought we played really good defense was against Abilene Wiley, and it was the last time we ran our 4-man front. And we had to get out of it because of some injuries and to get KJ Russell back and be able to go back to our 4-man front. That led to us playing really good defense, I felt like.
And that's going to be important because you guys have some cats that can get up and down the field when you got the ball. So that wraps up the second segment of the Plainsman Fan Zone. We'll be right back in Plainsman Fan Zone on 100.7 The Score.
Your inside look into Monterey sports. This is the Plainsman Fan Zone on 100.7 The Score and the 100.7 The Score mobile app.
Welcome back into the Plainsman Fan Zone for one more segment. We'll go back to the Coronado game real quick, and this is something that I sat down with Jay Northcutt today. Some stuff I talked about how his quarterback has taken leaps and strides, and I think Jonah has for you as well. It took some growing pains. It took some figuring out how to do things at a different level. How happy are you with him, just as a coach? You don't have to talk as a dad. As a coach, with what he's been able to do the last few weeks.
He's really come into his own. We knew it was going to take a little time for him to get used to the speed of the game and for it to slow down. There's nothing you can do other than play for that to happen. Also to learn the offense, the ins and outs, the little details of it. What we do is simple, but then there's a lot of complexities to it as well. And I knew going into the week we were going to play really well because I could just sense his command of what we were doing, his understanding. He's unbelievably intelligent. And so now we've gone from a kid trying to learn it to a kid who knows it well enough to help be a coach out on the field. And it, took 5 ball games, 6 ball games, but he looked really comfortable back there and showed what he could do.
And to me, when your quarterback starts looking more comfortable, that has an effect on everybody, not just on offense, but your entire team. You can kind of see their shoulders pick up a little bit, and they're like, "That's our guy."
100%. I mean, because, we have a lot of playmakers,
Yes.
a lot of guys that you want to have the ball in their hands. And when he's comfortable back there, then he's able to get it to them where we want him to get it. And, we saw the potency that we've known this offense had some potency to it. We just haven't been able to unlock it for 4 quarters. And now I feel like the tweaks we've made and him, developing, that we've really unlocked some stuff at the right time.
Krista, some of those guys.
Yes, very well.
A bunch of them come out with you in spring. I know Corin Q is. I think you said this on social media today. That dude can burn, and I've seen
fast.
him. Who else from the football team comes out with you in the spring?
I coached Legend in long jump
last
year. He's a good athlete. Yeah.
And then KJ did something in track, didn't he?
Yes.
He throws.
Yeah, he throws.
Went to regionals, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, he went to regionals and shot.
And Corin he was a little dinged up in the spring, but I know we ran a great picture of it. Was him, Cedric, and the kid from Coronado.
I just went blank.
I just went blank too.
I think he went to UTEP and you could just, and it's a still frame photo, but you could see speed. You could just look at it and see those 3 guys. You could see just how fast they were going. I tease Cedric once in a while because I think he finished 3rd, which Cedric doesn't usually finish 3rd in anything. And he kind of, I don't know what happened there. So, but Q, when he's healthy, that's a weapon. And it seems like he's getting there little by little. Is he 100% yet, or knock on wood?
He's a lot more healthy than he was at the beginning of the season. He took his hamstring in track, and then he hurt the other one right before football started, and we've just battled him. And I felt like he looked smooth as he's looked all season last week.
I was never fast enough to worry about my hamstring, so I don't know what that's like. But that's not uncommon in both sports to have somebody that finely tuned that all it takes is a little misstep, and you got to keep that guy healthy. Imagine Crista would like you to keep him as healthy as possible too.
Yes.
100%. And like I'm a track guy myself. Like I've always said, football's my love, but track is my second love. It's a 1A, 1B, not 1 and 2. So being out there in track season and being an assistant track coach last year, it was just fun to watch all of them compete. And we're going to make all of our kids run the track workout in our boys program. And so I feel like we're going to have a better showing out there with a lot of kids running track. And when you got a guy like Q and Legend and some of those younger guys that can run, it'll be exciting.
I love your 1-2 punch too, because Legend does some things and then Deuce comes in and just starts. He's like, you remember it's like a pinball out there. It's like he's looking for contact, and I think that fits you guys' personality.
100%. We were real physical. We want to be a physical team, and then to play with Legend and Deuce on the field at the same time, I felt like that was what really unlocked the potential the offense has.
Took me a while last year to believe Judd when he told me that Deuce was playing nose guard a little bit. I was like, "What? Are you serious?" And then I saw it, and I said, "Okay, that makes some sense." So I got to throw one more bouquet out. I'm a former tight end, so Noah Alexander is kind of a hybrid guy. He seems like he's added a nice little layer to you guys' offense too.
Yes, when Q was out, he had 10 catches for 80-something yards against Emerald High, and so we feel like we've got 3 explosive wide receivers, 2 dangerous running backs, good quarterback, and a big offensive line. I don't know what else you want in an offense.
Partridge in a pear tree. 7 p.m. Friday at Lowry Field, Battle for the Silver Spurs, Lubbock High, Monterey. We'll be back after this break of the Mustang Fan Zone.